Hey everybody, I will start by apologizing for how tight this shot is. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to video stuff, and it seems as though I am incapable of uh, focusing the shot without being incredibly tight on my face. So sorry about that. I'll try to cut to some other stuff so that you guys don't have to just stare at this the whole time. Yeah, welcome. This is the behind the scenes. We're behind the scenes. Whoa, here they are. I am always really hesitant to talk about what my songs are about, because I often feel like art is sort of this two-way street where my role is to create the art and put it out there and make it available, and it's sort of the responsibility of the listener to define the meaning of the song, and to find the meaning in the piece of art. I also feel like if I tell you what my interpretation of it is, it's going to, I don't know, make you feel like that's the official meaning, and then if you have a different meaning, but you've sort of extrapolated from it, it devalues that. So I don't really want to do that. But I do want to talk about sort of the inspiration of the song, kind of where I was coming from, leaving any sort of interpretation up to you. So this song was inspired by a story a friend of mine told. He was on a road trip from Colorado to New Mexico, which is a trip he'd been on several times. He'd driven that road multiple times over the years, and passed there's an exit sign for a city that he had not ever noticed before. He didn't recognize the name of the city, and thought that was weird since he'd been on this road so many times. And so he ended up going home and looking for it online and trying to find it on his map app, and just could not find that city. Couldn't find it anywhere on a map. Couldn't find it anywhere on Google. And I obviously don't ascribe anything paranormal to that. I think that he probably just misremembered the name of the town, but it kind of stuck with me because I've always had this fascination with road trips and this sort of unique loneliness that I think you feel and can only feel on a road trip, especially when you're driving really late at night through some of these more desolate areas, through the Midwest or through some of the southwestern places where there's just nothing, just this expansive blackness, and occasionally you might pass a gas station or a little town, but even then there's this loneliness in knowing that that's not your destination, that you don't belong there, and you're just sort of passing through. So that loneliness was really the jumping off point for the song. And thinking about that, started thinking about what else kind of mirrors that loneliness, and started thinking about the specific loneliness that one might feel if a friend or a loved one was suffering with depression or anxiety or some sort of issue like that, and you as their friend want to reach out to them and want to help them, but they've sort of built walls around themselves, and they become inaccessible to you. It's that loneliness of someone making themselves inaccessible to you. And that was sort of, from a lyrical standpoint, that was where the song sort of took itself as I was writing it. I wrote it, as I've written most of my songs recently, on the Nord Stage 3, which is just the best instrument that I've ever gotten to play. Used that Rhodes patch that I built in there, which I also used on a couple different pieces that will be forthcoming in the next couple months. But yeah, that's kind of become a sort of my main instrument. My main go-to is that Rhodes sound. I also did like the arpeggios and all that stuff was also off of the Nord, and even the fuzz that you hear in the beginning, that white noise, kind of that pulsating undercurrent, which was supposed to sort of invoke the sound of being on a road trip, sort of that white noise that you hear, kind of that humming in the car when the radio's turned off and you're just driving. That was all made on the Nord. So my normal songwriting process is I will first kind of just write the body of the song, and I'll actually record it into my cell phone. Daylight's passing the night, late night open we got that for now though. And just to make sure that I don't forget the idea, because sometimes I'll come up with a melody and forget it on the next pass. So I record it into my phone, and then once it is kind of taking shape, I'll start putting it into Logic Pro 10, which is the DAW that I use. So I record the piano part, and then the vocal part is like a scratch track, and then start building everything else around it. And then once everything else is built, I'll go touch up the piano and the vocal. Just make sure that they are where they need to be. So that whole process took, I don't know, probably a day or two just to write all the parts, and then to really produce it and get down to it. Probably took a couple weeks just to get it exactly where I wanted it. And that was all, that part is, for all of the songs that I write so far, that is all just me. I don't co-write with anybody. I don't have anybody engineering in the studio. It's all just, that's the most kind of solitary part. And I try to be as flowy as possible and kind of stay in a flow state and not let the editor come on until a little bit later. But yeah, that's how I recorded it, and I can't remember where in my video plan it is, but either I already have or I will be releasing a breakdown video or actually go through that Logic project and show you what everything looks like. And so that was how I made the song, and then it went on to the sort of the visual marketing aspect of it, like the cover artwork and the music video and lyric video and all that stuff. Visually, I really liked the idea of having some sort of nostalgic feel to it, which is why for the video and a lot of the pictures we went with that sort of grainy VHS feel. It also helped that I didn't have to shoot particularly elegantly in order to get that look, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I've only been doing video for a couple months now. When COVID-19 kicked off right at the beginning, my work shut down, and I ended up having to make a lot of video presentations for things. So that's where I learned a lot of this video work, and I'm still learning it. So making all the visuals be really kind of grainy and degraded helped me, sort of capitalizing on my weaknesses there. But yeah, that was, all of the video stuff was taken on my Canon EOS, EO5. I can't really tell if it's an S or a 5, but it's what I'm recording on right now. It was all filmed on that, and then I just sort of played around with it in Premiere until we got it. Lyric video was the first one that I made, and that one was real simple. It's just a static shot on the dashboard of a car while we drove around town, and then just the lyrics over it. That one was really easy. The music video was a little bit more challenging. I wanted to continue with that sort of road trip imagery, so I thought that having me driving around while singing it was appropriate for that. So Kels had to, sit in the passenger seat and try to get that angle as best as she could. So, Kels, yes. Are you ready to shoot the car scene? You just have to make sure that Junie's here. Yeah, Junie's here for the car scene. She's sweet. Can I have the keys? Oh. Thank you, Kelsey. That's my wife. She's wonderful, and we love her. She was a huge trooper during getting all that stuff shot. And then I did just the sort of straight on shot, similar to this shot, just in a couple takes. That one was easy. And the piano shot, just to sort of bring that in there, just to make it more dynamic, so it wasn't just a shot of me singing and driving. And then visually, I wanted to tell the story a little bit more with just being isolated from people and sort of being in that state of loneliness. And that was communicated by the family around the dinner table disappearing, and then husband and wife talking, disappearing, and baby disappearing. Yeah, that was all supposed to sort of connect to that. As far as the ending of the video and some other little Easter eggs that I slid in there, I like to connect my body of work together with some sort of continuity. So I can't promise I'll do that every time, but there are definitely clues and hints and allusions to what's coming next in the video, which I just think that kind of stuff is super fun. So if you want to pick it apart and try to find that, by all means go for it, but it's a good time. The photo shoot was another really wonderful part. So my wife is a photographer, a wedding photographer, super talented. She took all the photos for all of the pre-release stuff, the countdown stuff. Did we do good? What? Did we do good? Am I your favorite photography client? And some of the other things that we put out. and then she edited them to look beautiful, and then she gave them to me, and I butchered them. So all like the weird, grainy stuff, the blurriness, the bugs and all the other stuff, that was all me making her pretty pictures look worse. And I told her that up front. I said, just take pictures like you would for a client, and then I'm going to take them later and make them look bad. And she was a trooper and did that. So thank you, Kelsey, for being so kind in letting me mess up your art for the sake of my art. Yeah, I think that covers everything really. The visual stuff, the how it all went down, behind the scenes here. Just to thank a couple people. First off, if you've been just listening to the song, whether you've been listening to it on Spotify or Amazon Music or wherever you've been listening to it, thank you so much. It means a ton that you would engage in the art that I make, that you would enjoy at whatever level. I'm making this video well before I've even announced that the song is coming out, so I have no idea if we've hit the Spotify goal, but whether we have or have not is irrelevant to me at this point. Thank you guys for engaging. It means a ton. Thank you to Luke Hill, who is another singer-songwriter here in Huntsville with a group called Luke and Jay. He mastered the track. He mastered a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, so special thanks to him. Special thanks to Baseline, who distributed it and took care of all of the royalty and the copyright and all that stuff. Thank you for that. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Anyone that helped contribute to making this track happen and making this whole project just go the way that it went. Thank you guys so much. And I hope that you enjoy this piece, and I hope that you enjoy the next one.